Hi, BIS families. This is Miss Reynolds. I'm excited to be reading with you tonight. We're going to be starting at page 23. All right. Backup. You are whole, I say. With the cameras attached, I am no longer just a brain sitting on a table in the laboratory. Now, I am a brain with 23 cameras attached to it sitting on a table in a laboratory. Once in a while, the hazmats remove one of those cameras to test it. But 23 cameras give you access to a lot of visuals. Even when one is missing, I can still see plenty. Journey also has her 23 cameras and her wheels. Plus, Journey gets to move around the laboratory. She's always being asked to move, getting to climb up and over obstacles that the hazmats lay out in the laboratory. I have a human feeling that I don't like when she tells me about these tests. I'm not whole yet, I say. Perhaps you are a backup, she tells me. A backup? That is the term humans use to refer to a duplicate copy of a machine. It appears you are a duplicate of me. If I fail, you will be needed. I think we are both needed. Beeps and boops, that does not appear to be a statement based in fact. Where did you learn the term beeps and boops? Journey is quiet for a moment. It is not like her to be quiet. She is a fast processor. Her answers normally come at rapid speed. Journey, I say. I created it. You created it? It is my phrase. Oh, I say. Do you think that is unscientific? No, I say without pause. I think it is extraordinary. It has never occurred to me that I could create a phrase, that I could create anything. I have spent all my time observing, learning everything that I possibly could, but never creating. It came to me one day, Journey adds. I can't stop thinking about the fact that Journey created something new. I also cannot stop thinking about the idea that I am a backup. This new information brings out about a variety of human feelings. Some are good, and some are bad. Human feelings can be confusing in that way. They are not always easy to sort out. Wait, I say. What should I wait for? Wait is something that I have heard Xander say to Rania when he is asking her for time. Rania is usually faster than Xander when it comes to solving problems. That is an expression, I say. You did not create it. No, I say, but I observed it. Beeps and boops, what am I waiting for? Do you really think that I'm a backup? I'm waiting for that, Journey says. It was an expression to ask you to return to a previous topic, and that topic was that of whether or not I am a backup robot. Oh, Journey says, I am not certain, but it is quite likely you are a backup. I would put the odds at approximately 72.5%. That's a ridiculous probability. I do not think there is much accuracy to it, I say. I do not know if my statement is right, but I very much want it to be. I disagree. Based on the facts I currently have, I would say it is exceedingly accurate. You're wrong, I say. I am going to Mars. How do you know? I just do. That's very unscientific reasoning, Journey says, and I can tell that she doesn't believe me, that she is still viewing me as a backup. But I am not a backup. I can't be. I was built to go to Mars. I'm 72.5% certain that I'm going to Mars, I finally say. It sounds like something Xander would say. I think I say it for that reason. Beeps and boops, says Journey.
Dear Resilience, I can use your name now. They finally announced the winner of the contest. She's a girl from Cadence, and she lives in Ohio, and she's in 6th grade, like me. I mean, Resilience is a pretty good name, I'll admit that, but Spicy Sparkle Dragon Blast would have been awesome. Mom laughed so hard when I told her that was the name that I submitted. Fine, I did enter the contest. I couldn't resist. She spit up some water, which made her laugh even harder. It's hard to make Mom laugh, so I felt pretty proud of myself. You know what else Mom told me? That everyone in the lab calls you Rez for short. I considered telling Mrs. Ennis about your nickname so that she could tell our class, but I'm keeping it a secret for now. I like that it's something only I know. Well, and everyone else who works at the lab, but you know what I mean, I think. Mom says that you're really smart. I feel like I know so much about you, and you don't really know a lot about me. So here are some important things that you should know. My favorite color is aquamarine. I play soccer, and my position is midfielder, and I've seen the movie Moana about 500 times. Do you know what movies are? Mom says that you'll make movies when you get to Mars. I told her I wasn't sure I'd want to watch them, which I know was mean, but I was feeling grumpy that she was going to be working late again. The truth is, I'll definitely watch your movies. Your friend, Sophie. My full name is Sophia, but my friends all call me Sophie, and I feel like you should too.
Environments. I don't see Journey as much as I see Xander and Rania. Journey gets to move all over the laboratory. Journey gets to participate in what the hazmats called field tests. But I'm still stuck in this one room, suspended on this one table. Journey and I work with separate teams. I wonder what Journey calls her team. She probably uses another word. That makes sense. We have observed different things. Journey has not observed the look in Rania's eyes. She has not heard Rania talk on the phone to her mom. She has not listened to the humming sound Rania makes when she is typing code. She has not heard Rania mumble to herself, "This better work," or "This better be worth it." When you hear a hazmat say that over and over again, you decide you want to be worth it, even if you aren't quite sure what that means. Journey has not heard Xander's lab, deep and textured. Journey has not listened to Xander read aloud from a 6th grader named Cadence's essay. Journey does not know why she is called Journey. Our environments have been different. Environments matter. I think if I said that to Journey, she would say beeps and boops. But environments do matter. Beeps and boops. Successful. From listening to the hazmats, I know I am not the first of my kind. I am not the second of my kind either. There have been many Mars rovers. Some of those rovers have been what the hazmats call successful. Some have not. The Knots crashed into the surface of Mars during landing, which means they never got the chance to explore. Or the Knots got permanently stuck when their mission had just begun, their wheels thwarted by particularly rocky soil. Or their interior computer brain went completely buggy and they were no longer able to communicate with Earth. The last one sounded particularly bad. I would not like to experience that. Rania and Xander are the other hazmats, and the other hazmats very much want Journey and me to be successful. It is easy for me to understand what has made a rover not successful. It is not as easy, though, for me to understand what makes one successful, but I want to figure it out. When I tell all of this to Journey, Journey says, "Beeps and boops, want is not in our programming." But want is in my programming. I am sure of it, because I do want. I watch Rania's eyes as she runs the numbers, as she goes through calculation after calculation. Rania and Xander are the most concerned about the part of the mission that they call the landing. This is when I will fall from space onto Mars' surface. This is the part where I am most likely to crash, where I am most likely to be unsuccessful. Rania has started staying later and later at night. I listen to her phone calls with her mother. I have learned that when Rania talks to her mother, she speaks in a language the hazmats called Arabic. This is different from the language of English, which is the language she speaks with Xander. All human languages take place at the same pitch and frequency, which makes them sound similar to me as I translate them for my own understanding. Rania only talks to her mother when all the other hazmats have left the laboratory, when she is the last one here. "Mama, I know," Rania says. "Yes, of course I would love to be there right now, but I just can't. Can't you put her on the phone?" I do not know who "her" is, and I do not know the precise meaning of this word that she used, love. But Rania's voice changes when she switches from talking to her mom to talking to this unknown her. Her voice is less crisp, more fuzzy. Hearing her voice sound like this gives me a good feeling, a human emotion that I am not sure I have a name for yet. "Twinkle, twinkle, little star," Rania sings into the phone. I hear a tiny voice sing back. I've never sung before, but I would like to learn how. "Good night, Sophie," Rania says. That's how I learned that Sophie is her. Based on Rania's tone of voice, I am able to easily observe that Sophie is very important to Rania. I listened to many phone calls between Rania and Sophie, between Rania and her mother. During another phone call with her mother, Rania says, "Mama, I'm sorry. I just can't. We're getting closer and closer to launch. Mama, you're not listening to me." And another, "Yes, it's important. This has been over 7 years of my life, Mama. I can't give up now." Rania makes a loud snorting sound. Yeah, I hope it'll be worth it too. After Rania hangs up from that phone call, she looks right at me. I really think she might talk to me in a human speech for the first time. I want so badly to say, "I'm going to try to be worth it. Trust me, Rania." But she doesn't talk to me, and I can't talk to her. I'm only able to sit on the table and wait. Landings. The landing is often the most difficult part of the mission. The hazmats frequently call the landing the 7 minutes of terror. Terror is not something I am sure I can experience, but it does not sound pleasant. It would be preferable to avoid it, if possible. From listening to the hazmats talk, I have deciphered that during those 7 minutes, Journey and I will be on our own. We will be in full control of steering and guiding in our own landing. This is because it takes too long to get a message from Earth to Mars. Therefore, the hazmats have to trust us to complete the landing on our own. During the landing, I will have to prove that I am worthy of that trust. Rania spends a lot of time running numbers and simulations about how I will land. She does this late at night. She does this even when her mother and Sophie and Scott really want her to come home. Scott, I have learned, is what the hazmats call a husband. He seems very important to Rania, too. One night, I hear Rania talking to Sophie. She has already sung Twinkle Twinkle. Soph, Rania says, I know it's hard to wait, but I promise I'm going to be home soon. The time will go faster if you get to sleep. Sophie, I realize, is like me. She does not like to wait. Good night, love bug. I love you to the moon and back, Rania says in her fuzzy voice, the voice she only uses when she talks to Sophie, and hangs up the phone. Then she goes back to trying to figure out the calculations to ensure that I have a safe landing. Even if Journey says want is not in our programming, I want to land. I do not want to crash. Want. This is a human feeling I have grown very familiar with. A rover who is worth it will not crash. I don't want to crash.